How's everyone doing out there? So we're gonna expose somebody, and we got to go over something because I've noticed lately some YouTubers are kind of just focusing on foreign truck drivers and foreign companies, and I think that needs to stop, or it needs to equal out. We just can't single out just the foreigners. It's not just the foreigners that are doing a lot of this nonsense. There's a lot of American companies, carriers and brokers and drivers that are also committing this fraud, that are also, avoiding these ELDs, money laundering, shell companies, multiple corporations. A lot of this nonsense is not just the foreigners. It's everybody involved in trucking. So let's expose these guys. I found some interesting stuff, and actually, let's start it off. So I got this screenshot actually the other day. Bonehead Truckers had this screenshot regarding this company, but I dug into this company. I found some interesting stuff. Now it's called Rocket Turtle Trucking LLC, USDOT 3705022. It looks like we're gonna dive into them. It's not a very long show, but I want to point some things out that are concerning. So this truck actually had backed in to a hotshot guy. That was what set off the show that he was discussing. So I don't know who was driving this truck. I can assume who was driving this truck, but I don't think it was foreign guys. It might be, but I don't think it was. So Rocket Turtle Trucking LLC, 217 East 8th Street, Cameron, Missouri. 23 power units, 23 drivers. Keep that in mind. It goes to this house, and this guy, Darren Hemerson, remember that name as well, but this is the house. So 23 power units, 23 drivers. So this is a trucking company out of this little tiny house from Darren Hemerson. Interesting, isn't it? Here's a side view. Lovely little house. You can't even put a paint job. But he's got 23 units, 23 drivers. Really? Here's the goofball. Darren Hemerson. Very interesting little character. Well, maybe not little. Maybe a little pudgy. I'll look him up. We got 4 accounts on LinkedIn. Darren Hemerson, account executive, freight quote, Kansas City metropolitan area. Darren Hemerson, freight agent at Freight Quote, which actually is a part of, I believe it was C.H. Robinson, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe it was. Then he has third one, carrier representative at C.H. Robinson, Warsaw, Missouri. And then another one, Darren Hemerson, just blank. So 4 profiles on LinkedIn that are basically don't have anything on them. Here they are. One has 26 connections, one has 55 connections, another one 37, and then the other one 1. I don't know if even this is really an American guy or an American person, because usually the American guys don't do this, but maybe he's just not too bright. Maybe he's the dull crayon in the box of crayons. Maybe, I don't know. So it showed that in 2015, he started at Freight Quote. Then he left the job a year later from Freight Quote. Then all of a sudden, 5 years later, started working at Rocket Turtle Trucking. Interesting. Rocket Turtle Trucking, as Broker Snapshot shows, you're going to see it went from Rocket Turtle Trucking, then the legal name Darren James Hemerson, and then the legal name Rocket Turtle Trucking LLC. It went from this 620 West 3rd Street to this 217 East 8th Street. Over on the right, you'll see Darren Hemerson as recently as 2022. So that authority was granted in 2021. It's not very old. It's only a few years. You'll see the general. This is also snapshot from Broker Snapshot. 2021, 6 changes. 2022, 3 changes. 2023, 3 changes. 2024, 7 changes. 2025, 21 changes were done to this profile. Whether it was addresses, emails, phone numbers, insurance going on and off, or changes in insurance, it's still a lot of changes. 21 changes in that year's time. Rocket Turtle Trucking, it's showing active, and then the registered address is showing 5661 Telegraph Road. Head office is 217 East 8th. This is where it gets interesting. So this Rocket Turtle Trucking now, the director or officer is now Lehigh Segal, and the registered agent solutions is the agent. I think it's strange when the corporation doesn't match the authority address, okay? This here is fraud. There's no way, if we go back, where was it? So this is showing 5661 Telegraph Road as the registered address. But yet the authority is showing 217 East 8th Street. This authority is not even that old. But yet the addresses don't match with the Federal Motor Carrier Authority. So what does that tell you? So let's move along now, because also this Lehigh Segal, if you look over there on the left, their address as the organizer is showing 33 Irving Place, New York, New York. So this is the other interesting part. There's literally 4 corporations tied to this authority. We got one in 2021, Rocket Turtle Trucking. We got one in 2022, also Rocket Turtle Trucking. 2023, Rocket Turtle Investment Group, LLC. Then in 2024, Rocket Turtle Trucking, LLC. You see what's going on here? You cannot only blame the foreigners when Americans are doing it as well. So let's take a quick look at these corporations. So here's the one, August 17th of 2021, and it has Mr. Darren Hemerson's name on it, showing the 620 West 3rd Street. Then as we move along, February 8th of 2022, also, now it's Darren James Hemerson, also 620 West 3rd Street. Now October 17th, 2023, back to just Darren Hemerson with the new address of 1028 North Kings Highway Street, Cape Girardeau, I think you pronounce it, Missouri. And you have this agent, United States Corporation Agents. Then in February 8th of 2024, we have Registered Agent Solutions with a 711 North 11th Street, St. Louis, Missouri. And then all of a sudden, this guy's name shows up, Segal Lehigh. I checked the corporation. I didn't see any entries of change of agent or anything. All of a sudden, it just appeared on a whole new articles of organization, a new corporation. I don't know what kind of nonsense is going on over here, but for a small truck company out of a house that was built in probably the early 60s, something very strange is going on here. So, Rocket Turtle Trucking. But guess what? He's got another corporation called Hemerson Global LLC, which was started this past February of 2025, 7 months ago. And it says business classification. We are a freight agency. We are moving freight for our customers under freight brokerage company. I want to point 2 things out here, folks. One, the way it's written. We are freight agency, period. We are moving freight for our customers under freight brokerage company. Either this person sounds like a foreigner, maybe a foreigner. I'm starting to wonder if maybe this company has been taken over by some foreign crooks. It's very possible. But only Mr. Hemerson would have to come forward and let us know. But I think it's just very strange the way it's worded there. And not only that, but to say you have this Hemerson Global LLC and you're moving freight for your customers under a freight brokerage company. Yet I could not find a motor carrier brokerage authority for this company. So what's going on here, folks? What's going on here? They're just moving freight, but there's no authority, huh? Interesting. So this 217th East 8th Street for Rocket Turtle Trucking, 23 power units, 23 drivers, is showing this house. Let me see if I got this right now. So if we go back 217th East 8th Street, Cameron, Missouri. And then we go, where was it? Right here, 217th East 8th. So 217th East 8th Street. You see now that it went to this house. So what was the house before? I wish I was a little bit more organized. So we had this house, 217th East 8th Street. Interesting, isn't it? But now we got this house. Oh, my fault, folks. My fault. Let me correct myself. So Rocket Turtle Trucking on the right there is the 217th East 8th Street. But it goes back, if I'm not mistaken, to the 620 West 3rd Street. Or no, that's what the corporations were showing. It originally came from that house, the 620 West 3rd Street. Sorry, I get confused sometimes. This was a strange one when I was lining it up with the, because when I saw these 4 corporations and all this other nonsense, I was like, man, this is weird what's going on here. So let's move along. We're back to this guy, Darren Hemerson, or still on, I should say. But he also had on his Facebook, semi-truck driver at MJ&L Trucking. So, of course, Axel, he's got to look. So now we got, wait, it's not just MJ&L Enterprises LLC, actually. There's another Trucking Daddies LLC. So let's look. They both share the same address. So they're both carrier authorities. MJ&L Enterprises LLC doing business as MJ&L Trucking with 876 Southeast 130 Knob Noster, Missouri. Same phone number, same address between both of these. Now the other one on the right is called Trucking Daddies LLC. That one just appears to have a DOT. So either it's a chameleon or they didn't finish it. But MJ&L Enterprises was March 3rd of 2023. Now, on the right over there, MJ&L Enterprises was started February 7th of 2023. Now, 11 months later, the second one was started, Trucking Daddies, December 19th of 2023. Which is strange to me because you had one and then all of a sudden you were going to start another one. That's what it appears. Now, even though these show different agents, I'm going to show them connected. So this one above my head shows Ellis Charles Atchison Jr. And over there on the right, it shows Henry Monica, John Henry, LaWade Hostetler. So 11 months difference. Another thing I want to point out here. So when you go back here, you'll see this on the right, John Henry and Monica Henry. Monica Henry is actually tied or was tied to an M&M Logistics LLC, which is not authorized anymore and was a brokerage. It was revoked in October of 2021. But what I thought was interesting, and you drivers might find a little crazy, is their mailing address was going to this little shack-looking thing that looks like something probably was built by a Mexican architect, because that's the kind of style homes I've seen posted in Mexico. So a freight brokerage was sending their mail to that shack. These people, you have to research thoroughly. You have to check their homes, their pets, their swimming pools, their houses, the yards where they say they got 20 and 33 trucks. Check to see how many wives they have, for all I'm concerned. Let's move along. So on Broker Snapshot, as you'll see here, on top, MJ&L Enterprises LLC, DBA MJ&L Trucking. Those entries were of 2023. And then you'll see the 878. And actually, the address was wrong. It was 878. Then it went to 876. This, to make these kind of mistakes, and you're in trucking and you're moving freight. And freight, a lot of times, has aeronautical freight, military freight, pharmaceutical freight. I don't think you have room to make mistakes. And when you have mistakes on your corporations, on your authorities, with your insurance, with your drivers, and all this other nonsense, I don't think you should be in this business. So over there on the right, you'll see as recently as March 16th of 2025, you got John at truckingdaddies.com, but that's on MJ&L. And then on the bottom there, you'll see Trucking Daddies, same email, john@truckingdaddies.com. Interesting, isn't it? Same phone number from Trucking Daddies, 660-287-4049, also shows up on top on MJNL. Definitely 100% connected. So let's take a look at one other thing here. We got this guy, John Henry, who over there above my head, you'll see congrats to January grad, even though this was posted in March, but he was a grad for his CDL in January of 2023. Okay? He had just gotten his CDL in January of 2023. So now if he just got his CDL in January of 2023, 1 month later, a brand new CDL holder with no experience on the road opens an authority, MJNL Enterprises, LLC. Then, I think it's 11 months later, is when he started the Trucking Daddies, or whoever started it. But you see what's going on here, folks? It's not just the foreign guys. I've noticed lately, especially on Bonehead Truckers, and someone sent me a message a while ago, another idiot podcaster. We're going to cover him too eventually one day because he's really out of control. He's a communist, loving, whatever you want to call him. But I don't believe in a veteran sitting there day after day after day trying to crucify Trump, our president, when he's the commander in chief. You have no power over this. If you're in trucking, you should stay in trucking. Leave the politics to the politics guys. Not only that, this schmuck is operating for some more dirty frauds. So he wanted to troll me on LinkedIn. Don't worry. We'll get to you, buddy. You're on the list. Don't worry. But now back to these guys. So I'm Bonehead Truckers, and this other guy I was just talking about, he had sent me an email one time talking about, oh, the guy from Bonehead Truckers, he's a racist. Listen, erase this baloney from your brains if any of you are thinking about this. Some guys, when they want to expose stuff, they might get a little sidetracked. They might focus on a nationality. Another common mistake I see is a lot of guys always saying the Russians, the Russians, the Russians. I'll be honest with you, really, truly honest with you. I know they might sound the same as Americans, but I'm going to tell you this. I have my people I ask, and a lot of times I'll ask, what part of the country are they from, or what nationality? And truly, honestly, it's not mostly Russians I'm coming across. It's Ukrainians and Uzbekistans, okay? And some Georgians. You people want to expose these guys, but when you sit there and you want to name countries and stuff, you got to be like, have a little bit more respect. You can't just sit there and say they're all Russian when they're not all Russian, okay? You can't say they're all Ukrainian if they're not all Ukrainian. And definitely stop focusing on just the foreign guys. We know there's the Singhs, there's the Vladimirs, there's the Chekhovs. We know everybody. There's a ton of frauds from all different nationalities, all colors, all sizes, all shapes in trucking. So if you're going to expose them thoroughly. And I also notice some guys are starting to bring back Hope Trans, why they're not shut down, this and that. They saw another company. I did another quick look today. I found more. You know, if you're going to expose these guys, do the research and expose them from top to bottom. Then make sure the title, the description, the hashtags, the metadata, all that stuff is to a T. So that way, when people go to look to do their research, maybe it's a driver, they want to know if it's a good company. Maybe the FMCSA is watching and they might say, keep an eye on this guy's shows or these shows because they're doing all the work for us. They're giving us all the information. So all I'm asking is be fair, impartial, and don't just pick on the foreign guys because there are American crooks as well. And there's a lot of them. Trust me, there's a lot of them also. Their styles might be a little different. They might be entrenched differently the way they've been doing things over the years. But some of them have actually probably taught some of the foreign guys, or they're engaging in the fraud with the foreign guys. So this was just a quick show, but that's what I've seen lately. I've seen a lot of negativity towards the foreign guys. You know, there's a lot of immigrants that come to this country. Now, I like to be clear. I'm against illegal immigrants. I'm for immigrants if they come legally. But obviously, we got a big problem in trucking because so many of them flooded over here and just thrown in the trucks, okay? Not all of them are bad. The problem is the fraudulent companies. You got to start researching these companies, and they're the ones that need to be punished. I believe more so than the drivers. The drivers, a lot of them are just looking to make some money, to support their way of life, their families, whatever. But they're engaging in the fraud either knowingly or unknowingly because of the fraudulent companies. So you guys need to start focusing more on the fraudulent companies and any of these bad actors that network and collaborate with each other. So, hope you enjoyed the show. They're not always so interesting because it is trucking, but it is what it is. I have some other playlists I'm working on. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Don't subscribe. That's up to you. All my links are on top. Having a little issue with the website right now. I know something with the DNS server. Now they're telling me to contact Amazon. So who knows? It's always something, you know. So anyways, consider becoming a member of the channel. You want to support the movement or what I do and how I do it. Because me, I don't play favoritism with anybody. I don't care if you're American or foreign or whatever. I got to expose everybody equally. Whatever I find, whatever I can dig, whatever I can throw out. And we're going to talk about these trolls maybe in the next show. All right. I'm Axel. And if you got any other questions or you want to inform me about anything, you want to drop me a line, you got a question, axel.liveshow@gmail.com. You'll catch me there. I'll see you guys in the next one.